Yes, it's that time of year again where some fresh-faced newbies, otherwise known as freshers, go off somewhere, try and discover themselves and smash too many WKDs, or in some people's cases, any consenting biped with a pulse. But how is COVID-19, otherwise formerly known as the International Global Bastard, going to affect the learning experiences of students and their health and well-being? And guys, I'm Adam McCarthy. If this is the first time you've been to this channel, it'd be really cool if you could smash a like, subscribe. Immersive sports science, content not commentary, sports science, or in this case fitness science, not bro science. And yes, I have lost my shirt because both of them are in the wash. University campuses make a perfect breeding ground for viruses. You're meeting new people, you're seeing new people, you're sleeping with new people, spending time in close proximity with others. And it's no wonder every year we have a pandemic of freshers' flu. The average student at universities share classes with just 4% of their peers. However, if we take in all their interactions, they in effect share the class with 87% of their intellectual peers. In the US, according to the New York Times, 6,600 COVID-19 cases were linked to American colleges. What is clear is that we need to make a safe learning environment. Multitude of ways this can be done. Firstly is to create a COVID-secure bubble where you and your course mates live and work with each other. This has the benefits that you all are on the same course, providing that you are reliable and can work with each other, or that you haven't fallen out from spending every waking hour with each other. The main weakness is that university is a learning experience even outside the lecture theatre. You meet people from all walks of life and demographic and other countries. Most importantly, this provides different ways of thinking, thusly allowing different ways of debating and appreciating certain viewpoints. And this can also enable your education. If you think about it, the best university challenge teams are often the ones from the widest variety of demographics and courses. Also, it may not be practical. For instance, I lived in a building where there was 31 and there was 18 alone in my flat. And a word of advice, never break the third rule of being a student. Never sleep with your flatmates unless you're going to enter a relationship, otherwise ask him for trouble. The other way is to work remotely. If you like socially distanced study buddies, this is more likely to be found at mid to low ranked universities. After saying that, Oxford University has decided that their students are going to work remotely. Now this can be seen through the use of Open University and the US version Coursera, which you can find an affiliate link below if you are interested in a cheap uni degree or course. Now in order to do this, you will need to be disciplined. However, it is a lot cheaper than going to universities. You can live at home, you can work while doing it. However, in the case of Oxford University, 9k to not get the full university experience, is it really worth it?
Freshers going, guys?
Ask my lecturers, not turned up to a lot of them.
You know you're the student who is the recluse during lockdown, when the lockdown laws come in, and for you, your life really hasn't changed that much. If you have the money, doing the online courses, then go to university the next year, or maybe doing a gap year to get money, might be of benefit. However, doing a master's degree, you're supposed to be a professional master's student. However, a gap year to many doesn't look particularly attractive, especially with how the economy is doing at the moment and the lack of opportunities to travel or volunteer. For sports people, it may not be possible to take a gap year because where the best coaches and competitions are at the unis. Now, whatever decision you make, my advice would be to research the living daylights out of it. And this is from my own personal perspective. But when I went on to do my master's degree, I probably didn't research the right areas well enough, nor did I know where to research those areas. So it's probably key to research as much as you can and try and think outside the box when you research. Try and be smart about it. It's a lot different than doing the undergrad.
The clothing I was still wearing, but I think right now it's more important for me to have the money to pay my rent for September rather than having more clothing.
I'm looking to move back to Cardiff at the moment, but unfortunately can't afford my rent due to coronavirus. By September, I have to make £350 worth of rent and then probably about £50 of bills. It's impacted my family a lot because my parents are having to support me financially, which was something that I was hoping they wouldn't have to do while I was at uni.
Now, For whatever reason, you're adamant that you're going to go to university, and your parents are adamant that you will go to university because they really want to kick you out the house. Now, it's important that you keep safe. The virus disproportionately affects the elderly and those with comorbidities such as obesity, heart conditions, lung conditions, etc. However, you cannot employ reckless abandon in times like these, as teenagers and young adults are the biggest spreaders of the virus, mainly because they're asymptomatic and are less likely to follow government guidelines. There are things you can do to prevent yourself from the viruses. You can remain active, live a healthy lifestyle. Buying healthy food is relatively cheap, even if you do live in a food desert, where such foods are less available. Of course, this all depends on the habits you've been taught when you grew up, and also the people you hang around, the habits you gain from them influence your lifestyle. Exercise is highly important in order to keep healthy and live a healthy, active lifestyle, especially exercise that increases lung capacity and lung volume. Cardio is great for this, and it don't necessarily have to be hard either. For instance, a walk, a very long walk, can be considered cardio, but if you haven't really got much time due to uni work, doing high intensity interval training could be your thing, provided that you are physically healthy beforehand. Sleep is also heavily important as well for your health and well-being, something that students often miss out on with all the fun that's going on and just generally miss forgetting time and just staying up later. Sleep helps with so many vital functions of the body, being able to recharge yourself and prepare yourself mentally, help with university work and recovery for sporting performance. Yes, I know 9 AM lectures are a pain in the arse, and that 7 AM suddenly the early morning, and that 12 AM is the new morning. But it's very vital you get your good quality sleep, roughly around 8 hours of quantity of sleep. Limiting blue lights like devices like phones and laptops an hour before you go to bed, because this otherwise will affect your sleep pattern and make you fall asleep later in the day, therefore disrupting your sleeping pattern. Our eyes are highly receptive to the colour blue. It basically tells our brain that we ought to wake up. Try to go to bed calm and not overexcited, and that was no pun intended. It is also important to remain hydrated. You may want to limit caffeine. Quite a lot of people in the Western world, especially in the UK, are dehydrated. In other words, they do not get enough water, and this will affect their educational prospects, but also their recovery from exercise and their ability to fight off viruses, as well as them feeling tired. It can't be denied that COVID-19 is having an impact upon the economy. It's having an impact on jobs and competition, sporting competition, student life, full stop. So one has to ask themselves, is it really the right year for me to go to university? Maybe it is the right year for you to go to university because of these changes being made might improve my education, but this is really something that you have to ask yourself before applying. At least you won't have any drunken embarrassing moments to worry about or any walk of shame. I had a friend once, hard to believe, but she stated if you can't remember it, then it never happened, until we showed her the videos and pictures of her dancing. In terms of university life, societies will be disrupted and your way of living will be disrupted. You won't necessarily get the normal university lifestyle. Societies, chess, sports societies for instance, would also be disrupted to a certain degree. Even your education, in terms of your education, would be highly disruptive, possibly. But yet again, it might be a normal education to your standards. The things you learn from your own education will be the normal, or so say, the new normal. I admit I'm absolutely envious of you post-millennials going off becoming fresher now, because anecdotally, in my opinion, you guys are far much more grounded. You have a better understanding of what you want, how to achieve, and what's the potentials in the future for that likely to happen. When I was at university, I felt all they did do was prepare me for more higher education and the world of yesterday, not the world of today, and the work which potentially might be happening in the future. It's okay to not know what you are doing or feel lost as much as I am now, trying to find my way back home. Seriously, where the hell am I? That's because we are in unprecedented times. No one truly knows what's next year going to be like, what's the future going to exactly hold relating to coronavirus, COVID-19. the global pandemic and its effect upon students' education. Okay guys, especially if you haven't got the grades at college or sixth form, because you are judged on the grades and the work you do now at your highest level. I know somebody who's fell pregnant at 15, had mediocre grades at her college, went to university, got a first-class honours degree in both BSc and MSc. So it's a matter of what you can do now. And I've seen other people who've had the good grades, good A-levels, and failed miserably at university, mainly because they probably weren't used to the lifestyle and the change of lifestyle, change of learning style. At university, it's all about independent learning, whereas at a certain degree at college, but certainly at school, you are brought up in a dependent learning system. Whatever you decide to do, university should be a fun experience for everyone involved. For me, I still think of myself as a university student, even though I'm not. And when going back to university, it was UWIC I knew and grew in love with, not Cardiff Met. It was different, it was better, but it wasn't the university I went to. And that's probably because I'm looking at it through rose-tinted goggles. It's not necessarily the locations I miss, it's the opportunities, it's the student-athlete lifestyle, and the opportunities that I won't get. Like, my YouTube channel was started because I went to a university and had the opportunity to get the equipment. It is the people, the friends, the flatmates, the girlfriends I had, that it's the people and the memories I've had with them that I will miss and cherish the most. University, even though it's hard, you don't give out degrees for no apparent reason. You have to work hard for them, but they are some of the best times of your life. And don't do what I do, maximize it to your advantage. I hope this information could be helpful. I'm Adam McCarthy, Immersive Sports Science, not Bro Science, and I'll see you in the next one.